Hello, everybody. It's so good to be back. It's Leao here from Island Girl Views and also part of the Daily Examiner. I have an incredible guest tonight. So I thought actually I need to get back on here and interview this incredible woman. And I know that you would feel the same way too. So I'm going to bring her on and then we're going to just start off with a word of prayer and then we will have a chat. Please, if you have any questions for her, put them up and I will ask her these questions. So I'm going to bring in Sam and I'll just bring her in. Talafalava, Sam.
Hello,
How are you?
Palava. I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. It's so good to see you. You
Thank you.
have
You
an
too.
incredible story. And so I thought just before we start, I'll just have a word of prayer and then we will have a chat. Is that okay?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Dear Lord, thank you for this time that we can spend together. Thank you for Sam and her beautiful twins and her family. Thank you for her voice that you've been able to use. And we pray, God, tonight that you'll bless our time together and our conversation. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Wow. So, Sam, finally, it's been a while. um, oh, look,
Would you believe he's just woken up?
no
He must
way.
have known, eh? I reckon.
And this evening is baby Will. Oh, beautiful. Wow.
Oh,
How is
you're
he? How's he doing?
echoing. He's doing so good. Yeah, he is doing really, really well.
Can you introduce yourself and just to who's part of your family, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk about what happened last year.
Hey, yeah. Yeah. Oh, do you mean, yeah, so I am a mum to the twins, to Will and Jethro, and to Jack and to Isaiah. Um, and I'm a stepmom to three other gorgeous older. Well, my husband had, well, Cole has another boy, Izzy, and then two older adult children as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
we've got lots of people in our family.
Oh, that's so
Lots of
good.
them. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I can't believe Will's timing.
I know.
little
Actually, I
star of the
can.
show.
I reckon he's like, "Excuse me, are you going to be talking about me?"
Yeah, you must be talking about me because I really need to be here. So, oh, that's so beautiful. Um, so Will has a twin brother. Is that right, Jethro?
Yeah,
Is that right? And they
yeah,
both have
that's right.
they both
Yeah,
just turned one. Is that right?
they have. Yes, May they turned one. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Do you want to take us back a little bit to what actually happened last year and just
Oh
talk us
wow.
through? Hi, Will. Look at him. He's like, you can hear me. Hi, my darling. Sorry, we're going to gush over this baby
Oh
this whole
my
time.
gosh. Well, come on. Anything to do with computers, phones, honestly, we're already starting to be like, no, you'll not look at that.
He's like, no, but I'm the
But
star of the show. Yeah.
exactly. Oh, on their first birthday, I was just like, it was such a celebration because it has been such a year. Not only were the boys born early, so they're born at 29 weeks.
Yeah.
So we had about 2 months in NICU. Um, and then they came home, and oh my gosh, it was like, oh, this is amazing to be home, but there's something still not right going on here with my baby. And eventually we got to the bottom of it, because they did two echoes on him, which they missed on Will, and they missed the findings that he had quite a severe congenital problem with his heart.
Sure.
um, and then they found it at an outpatient appointment when he was about think it was about 4 months old, and that was a real bittersweet. I was thankful because I was like, oh, thank goodness I know what I'm working with now, because I knew that there was something wrong with him, or he had some problems, but I didn't know what it was. And then it all started from there. So we went to Starship. They didn't rush us to Starship, but the consultant who diagnosed the problem was very he was very shocked at how bad it was, and he
Right.
consulted with the Starship, and they were like, okay, well, we'll get him in next week or something like that. And then we got up to Starship, and they did a non-invasive procedure on him, which was
Yeah.
good boy. Hey, you're gonna go back to sleep. Which I hope so. Which was it was still a big deal because he still had to have a general anaesthetic, and this procedure that we hoped would fix the problem, but it didn't. So they did a catheterization. So they put the
Yeah.
catheter up into his heart, and
Oh,
yeah, and yeah, you don't want your baby going through that.
no.
Um, and then we got sent home, and we were really, because we have faith, and we really
Yeah.
were like, oh God, you're gonna heal him, and we prayed, and it didn't. We now know why it didn't happen,
Yeah.
because this whole thing was for a bigger purpose. But at the time, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and we didn't
It
know.
is.
Yeah, and we just hoped that would have fixed the trick, done it. And then I think we went back. Probably my timing isn't exactly correct, but I think we went back maybe a couple of months later, or a month
Yeah.
later, something like that, back to Starship, and then they did the echo again and said no, it's actually probably a little bit, probably about the same. So he's going to need open heart surgery. And even when they said that, I still, thought, nah, that's not really going to happen. God is going to
Yeah.
heal him, and we're not going to be going down that route. And yeah, that didn't happen. Um, and then, of course, we accepted the fact that he was going to need open heart surgery, and
Sure.
but then, as we know, with the court case and all of that sort of thing, I said to the hospital, I said to the doctors there, I said, okay, so, and I'd already started planning this when they had done the catheterization. So the first
Yeah.
procedure, I already started talking to the doctors, and I said to them, look, if he's to have open heart surgery, we need to get this direct donor blood, because we're not having our baby having a blood transfusion with the vaxxed blood. We're not going to do that.
Sure.
And they sort of shrugged me
Were
off
they
and said,
shocked?
oh,
Were there
no.
others that?
They said, oh, you're not the
Okay. Okay.
yeah. They said, you're not the first person to ask this. And I said, well, then what are you going to do about it? Because this is a real problem. And I said, it's got nothing to do with vaccination. I said, if you people want to get vaccinated, that's perfectly their decision, their choice. But in our family, we've decided that that's never something we're going to do. And
Yeah.
on the bigger scheme of things, we know that there's cardiotoxic agents in the blood, and my baby is having heart surgery. So why am I going to,
Sure.
why am I going
Yeah.
to let
Yeah.
this stuff potentially into my baby when he's having heart surgery? Sorry, I'll just and so yeah, we started the process when he'd had the catheterization. Um, but yeah, we got shrugged off a lot by everybody, and
Right. Right.
yeah. So then when we got up to, we went back to for the second time for the open heart surgery. Again, we were opening these conversations, and I said, well, and my husband and I both said, Cole, we both said, well, no, we're not consenting
Yeah.
to, Will having blood that potentially could be tainted by spike protein. We're not consenting to that. And
Yeah.
we went even further than that. And we did a huge, screening and petition, and got so many amazing people who were willing to donate their blood. And,
Yeah.
you know,
It was a
yeah.
certain blood type, wasn't it, Sam?
So,
What's it?
so it was, his blood is just the universal O positive blood, but because
Mm,
he's a baby, we need something called pediatric blood, um, which only certain people have, and yeah. So we'd had, and then of course we had meetings with blood bank, and that was horrific. It was
okay. Yeah.
really bad. But I said, look, there's no reason why you should say no. I've gone, because I have a medical background. So I said, I've gone through everything, and I've made sure that it's all safe, and we've got everything that he will need. And you've told me this is how much blood that potentially he will need. So, what's the problem, really? Yeah. So,
So this
uh,
so were you the furthest one that, like, when others ask for unvaccinated blood, did
yeah,
it not go very far? Because you obviously made news that you
yeah,
stepped into this
yeah.
a lot further than most of the other parents. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, yeah, and I've had contact from quite a few other parents since the incident, and I just encourage everybody to continue to say no, 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 because if we don't make a stand, things don't change.
Yeah.
If we make a stand and then go, oh, okay, but they have to do it, it's like, no, we have to make a stand. And why should we not?
Yeah.
Your body, your choice, your baby, your choice.
Yeah.
It's not like we were ever jeopardizing anything for him. We only ever wanted actually better than what they were trying to offer us. So
So, in that
yeah,
process, were there some other people that came alongside you who helped support you in that? Because it's
yeah,
it's like coming
absolutely.
against a beast.
It was horrendous. So Liz Gunn was absolutely monumental, and if it wasn't for her and her team, so and there was Jonathan, he was the one. So on that film that clip you were going to show, he was. If it wasn't for him, and the rest of her team, then and of course Sue Gray. I mean, she represented us, and her, and there was other people. I mean, the support from the public in New Zealand was
Mm,
phenomenal. It was absolutely just
yeah,
moving. You just couldn't believe it. Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
um I was there a couple of the times, just outside the
Oh,
hospital. Um, but
thank you.
Sam, I was we were going to show that video, but it was very traumatic, and at the time,
Yeah,
and it actually reached across the world. Um,
yeah.
and I think and feel that it actually touched more people than you realize. And we didn't show it tonight because it's still traumatic for you, isn't it?
Mm,
Like
mm.
you didn't actually get to
Well,
see it because it was happening to you at the time.
yeah, yeah, that's right. And I think, it just brought, like, when I started to hear my voice and Cole's voice and the policeman in there, and like when you were just about to play, and it just made you feel so helpless again, and just took you back to that place of just overwhelming. You just felt so overwhelmed by it all, that could happen to your child. You know.
There was this. We're just looking at all the photos of people that were there that
Oh
evening
wow,
for the vigil, who came to support you and there's Elliot.
so amazing.
It was actually a really amazing evening. You know,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
people just came together because sometimes um, you come to a place where you would expect and want them to have your best interest at heart.
yeah,
When it doesn't happen, and that is what we saw unfold, you had
yeah,
so many people from all over Auckland. In fact, there's some there I can see that came from outside of Auckland
yeah.
to come and tautoko you and support you
Oh
in,
wow.
in your, both you and Cole, to tell you that you weren't alone. How did
Yeah.
you feel when you came out and saw? Because I
Oh,
remember seeing you come down.
honestly. Oh, that was the so I was pretty shattered. So I
Yeah,
had, do you mean, so I'd been forced to stay awake that whole night,
yeah.
the night before Will's surgery, and they said to me, if you fall asleep, then you'll be removed. Um, so I was pretty
Wow.
smashed when I came out, because there was so mmany people, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was raining, I think, and oh, just needed to have a rest. I think,
Yeah,
is that the time you're talking? Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. It
it
is.
was, but still, just so incredibly grateful, and incredibly just so thankful to everybody that just felt it was like, and exactly, that's exactly it. We were not alone,
No.
we were so supported by so many people, and to feel the love, yeah, that was amazing.
I feel that your story has, you know, uh, there were some things that worked out and some things that didn't.
Yeah,
But in the end, now we have a beautiful, healthy, young
yeah,
young boy there,
yeah,
baby,
that's right.
still, and to see you both go through that and to be able to come out on the other side with obviously some incredible people that came alongside you and
Yeah.
supported you. I just I I look at that story and I think, you've come through quite a few adversity, that actually, you think about the hospital as well. Um,
Mm.
you would think that they had your best interest at heart. Do you think that they actually still think that they had your best interest at heart,
No,
which is why
no,
they took?
no.
Okay.
I know, I know that you cannot sleep with yourself. You cannot, like, for example, the doctors who I spoke to, they know that uplifting a baby from somebody, and going against their will, is not the right thing to do. Um, I think that there will be some people who thought that they were doing the right thing, but I think on the whole, majority of the people involved have a still do have some sort of moral conscience,
Yeah.
um, and would know that actually the line was crossed.
Yeah.
The line was absolutely crossed. Um,
Tell me, Sam, what
yeah,
happened after? So your baby had its operation.
yeah,
Is that right? Yep. And
that's right.
then
Yeah.
what happened after that?
So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, interestingly enough, the people who were involved, um, pre
Yeah.
pre operation, were then not involved post. So I mean,
Okay.
that's got to tell you something.
Yeah.
That speaks to me that those people are so ashamed, and so, or so, weighted by their decision and by their involvement, that they couldn't carry on and do the post stuff. Um,
Sure.
yeah,
Did you have a
that's what
whole
I
group?
think.
Did you have a whole group of new people come and
Yeah, yeah,
post? Yeah.
whole group of new people. And the nurse who, this is interesting, the nurse who was the nurse that looked after Will and me the night of, like, prior to the uplift, the next day, I think I saw her about 3 days later, and her hair colour was changed. She looked completely different. And I was like, flipping
Really?
heck, if that's not, yeah. And she wouldn't look at me. She would not look me in the eye. She kept walking across the other side of the corridor. She'd avoid me. And I mean, I would avoid me too if I was her, you know. So it was a good thing she did avoid me. But yeah, you know, things like that. You're like, wow. If someone was in all good conscience around what they did and their role that they played, then you know they would definitely have no problems looking after
Mm.
us again the next day or whatever, you know. So that was,
Joseph said absolutely cross the line pre-COVID. No nurse or doctor would have threatened to take you away from your baby. These
yeah,
things are true. Like uh,
yeah,
post-COVID, so after COVID, it has felt like they have taken control of.
yeah,
They've taken control of the well-being of you and
yeah.
your children.
That's right.
This is where it's come, post. And also too, Sam, you do realize that those who were mandated out were the ones who made a choice not to,
Yeah,
and the ones that were left were the ones that,
and it
now that we've had to deal with.
absolutely. And Leo, that is exactly it. And it's so obvious, you know, it's so obvious. But thankfully,
Yeah,
because of the mandates being dropped now, all these wonderful, and not say, no, I want to be careful how I put this, but
yeah,
you know, people have come back who actually are do have a sense of critical thinking, do have a sense of you know patient welfare and you know patients' rights. You know, because that's what it comes down
yeah.
to: basic rights. You know,
I think it's
that have yeah, I was just going to say that
yeah.
have been completely violated and continue to get
That's
violated.
right.
You know,
And I think the whole point is that it was your baby. This is your baby. We're talking about beautiful baby Will, as
yeah.
Liz has always has said. But see, if it wasn't highlighted, then people would go through this, not realizing how much of our rights have been taken away,
Yeah,
especially as parents. And our parents' rights have
yeah,
slowly been taken away from us, little by little,
yeah,
in all these different
yeah,
situations. And now we've come to this, and all of a sudden it was blown up because
yeah.
what were your rights? What did you
Yeah,
have anymore in this
that's
situation?
right. It's like
And so
boom, there,
yeah,
there
and
it
so
is.
people were
Yeah,
like, "Wait, what's just happened?" This
yeah,
is actually quite shocking that you know, we love our children the most out of everybody in the world. You would expect that we would love our children the
yeah,
most, so we would have their best interest at heart. And so when
yeah,
you're putting something quite intelligent to you're bringing something intelligent to them, say, I actually don't want that because it's still an experiment. How
yeah.
did you feel when
That's right.
both you and Cole were literally hitting yourselves against a brick wall when you're trying to actually explain to them that you have his best interest at heart?
Yeah, it was like we were talking to flipping robots. Honestly, they
Yeah,
just kept giving us the poker face, and it's like, seriously. The surgeon kept saying, "I want peer review." I said, "Sure, I'll give you peer review evidence. I've got peer review evidence right here." Um, you know, and oh, crazy. So, they really can't be that dumb. You'd think you're really intelligent people. How come,
yeah,
you're not getting the science?
So,
Yeah.
um,
So
so Sam, from this, what has your learnings been in regards to, I guess, first of all, Starship? That's where your baby was, yeah? Was it in Starship or was it?
yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, I'll start out with a positive,
Okay,
um,
sure.
which isn't with Starship. Okay, so first of all, I start out with a positive of Waikato. So they have been. I just want to compare the care because little Will and Jethro were born prematurely. So
Yeah,
we, we he has only ever had breast milk, and I'm just giving you some comparisons.
sure.
They were so respectful at Waikato. There'd be times where I almost run out of milk, and they would ring me and say, "You've got to get some more milk, or we'll give him formula." And I'm like, you never ever dare give him formula. I was really fiery
Adamant.
beer mama. Because your baby's there, and I tried to be there as much as I could, and I was pretty much there all day, but night times I wasn't there. And they respected our wishes as parents every single time. There was a time when the boys' bloods were a bit low, and they said, "Oh, we want to give him a blood transfusion." I said, "No way will you be doing that.
Yeah.
Be I'll be taking this and this and 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 I said, and then we'll check their bloods again, and we were always in discussion, and they were so respectful, and
Wow.
they never overrid us. Then I get to Starship, where they think that they can tell us what's going to happen for our baby. Never listen to us. They gave us, they pretended they would. They'd be like, "Oh, we have another meeting," and so I'm sick of having meetings. You're not actually hearing what we're saying. And and yeah, so light years away. Just comparing the care and the respect and the um yeah, just the respect.
Yeah.
Waikato completely respected us as parents, and
What a
Starship didn't.
huge difference, Sam. What
It's yeah,
how are they so different? Like, is
yeah.
it
I'm
because
not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Um, yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
crazy? So, so it's been how long now? Possibly nearly 6 months now since, or a year
Since the
already?
op, since
Yeah,
the op. Um,
yeah.
so he had it December the 9th, I think it was.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
7 months on.
yeah.
Tell me, how has his health been since then?
Oh,
And could you tell me a little bit about the tube and what
yes, yes, yes,
a little
yes,
bit of that
absolutely.
story?
So the dreaded tube.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
again, very thankful to this tube, but we were just like, oh my word, we have to get rid of this tube. He's
yeah,
had it since he was born, and because he's quite small, he's a wee dot. They were a little bit. The team were not very supportive in getting rid of the tube. They're really good at putting tubes in. They're really bad at taking them out. And so I searched. I was just like, who can help me with the steps to get
yeah.
this tube out? And pretty much everywhere I looked, it was like closed door, closed door, closed. Oh, we'll wait until this. We'll wait until this. We'll wait until he's eating. And I'm like, well, he's not going to eat because he's not hungry. Because I'm forcing all this food into him, and like the milk into
Oh,
him,
bless
and
them.
yeah, so it was sort of like this vicious cycle,
Yeah.
until I actually found a. You're right, darling. Until
Oh,
I found a
blessing.
he's, he's a little golf. He's still asleep, by the way, which is great.
Wow.
I found this agency. It's called GI, which is Growing Independent Eaters, and they're over in America. And
Wow.
yeah, and they specialize in getting rid of tubes. And I was like, oh my
Oh,
word,
wow.
this is wonderful. Um, but I was very reluctant because it cost quite a lot of money, and we were just like, oh, can we do this? Can we not? Can we try another way? And I just thought, no, we will. So we you know um paid the money, and we followed their steps. And he's got the tube back in now,
Okay.
but we did the wean. It was completely off the tube. He was off it, um, and then we took it out. Oh no, actually, we didn't take it out. It came out in the middle of the night, and we're like, "What do we do? Do we put it back in or not?" And we're like, "Let's just see." And he did so well. So it had been out for 3 weeks, and then he got
Yeah.
a little bit of a cold.
Cough.
Him and his brother
Oh,
got a
yeah. Yeah.
cold,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he stopped eating and he stopped drinking, which is all normal stuff. When you're sick, you don't want to eat, you don't want to drink, But
Yeah.
then he sort of got constipated, and then we were going round in a circle and just thought, no, no, we got to put it back in. So it's been back in about 4 days, I think. But
Sure.
he's not using it for anything apart from water at night time. Sometimes we put, because he's still learning how to drink water.
Sure.
So and he's feeding again now, and he's eating again now, and yeah, so it probably, we'll just see what happens. He doesn't need it now, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah, that's sort of been the journey with that. So I think, anybody who's got an NG tube in, and you're wanting to get it out, um, these people are amazing. And they've got a Facebook page. You don't have to pay all the money to
Yeah.
to get it out, to but you do have to get a plan from them. But just the support from them has been incredible, and it's been a completely different philosophy as well. So what they were saying to us was, well, this isn't a philosophy, this is a fact, is that when you're giving a baby, let's say he was having 120 mils through the tube of breast milk,
Mm.
um, every 3 hours, what that actually does, because what it does is it makes the hunger hormone, sort of closes down the hunger hormones. So babies,
Right.
that because we don't eat every 3 hours, we eat when we're hungry, and we don't eat exactly the same amount all the time as well. So it's sort of very clinical. Um, so yeah, once those hunger hormones start to wake up, um, they feed better, and then they start to sort of feed the way they're meant to feed. So it's a process. It took about 6 weeks, but yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
We're
I
very
just want
proud
to.
of him.
He's doing really well. You have to
Yeah.
realize he is one. He is over
Yeah.
one, and I just wanted to say to Mitch, he says, "Water, I'm out. Sorry, you don't feed baby water at night." So the tube is for the water when the baby needs it, but the baby has breast milk. Okay, just just
So
anyway.
just to clarify, yeah,
Yeah. Please clarify.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
just
tell
when
me.
when they have. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
No, no, you go.
Oh no, I was just going to say, because when they're at that age, they start to have a sipper bottle and they start to drink water. But that's
Yeah.
also a learnt. They have to learn how to do that. And
Yeah.
sometimes he drinks it, and sometimes he doesn't. So, yeah,
So tell me, how is Jethro doing? How is he doing, like in his growth, and obviously his twin brother.
yeah, yeah. So he he's also doing awesome. But yeah, they both got the cold at the same time. They've both just come through it, and they're both getting their appetites back. But in regard to the milestones, I mean,
Yeah.
um, they're pretty much, Jethro's almost walking. Will's not too far behind him. Yeah, they're doing awesome. Clapping and waving and gooing and garring, and doing all that cute stuff. Yeah.
Tell me something. All right, we'll just go for a few more minutes because I know that you're a little bit tired, and so as you're, put your baby to bed. But I just want to ask you for parents or people who are going through the same thing. I know you would have
Mm,
probably not asked for it to happen again like this, but what would you
mm.
say to them? How would you encourage them?
Oh,
If they have to do the same thing, if they have to stand.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, would you speak to
Oh
that for a few
man,
minutes? And then
absolutely. And my heart, I just want to say to anybody that is, because I know people at the moment in Starship who, and there's one person in particular who's her kid is going to have surgery tomorrow, and my heart breaks, because we have to stand and we have to say no. And, um, the cost is too high. The cost is far too high. And I just want to say that if you are in that situation, if you are facing those decisions, just stay strong. Stay strong because although, yeah, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I I just wouldn't I couldn't live with myself if if I had have done if I hadn't have taken it to every step of the way that I could, because yeah, so I just stay as strong as you can, because that's how it's going to change. That's how we're going to get change is if we all say no, no further, no further. I'm not moving. This is the decision I have made for my child, and it's the right decision. And our voices as parents are really, really powerful. I think we have to
yeah.
remember that they're really powerful.
So this is Baby Will.
Ah, no, that's Jethro.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
there's
Jethro.
Will. Yeah,
There's
there's
Will.
Will. There's
Oh
Will with
my
his
gosh.
tube out. Yeah.
Oh, it's not going to be long. Don't worry.
Nah, nah. It's just a little
And it's them
sidestep.
together. Yeah, it is. Nikki said you're an amazing mama. You really are. And
Oh,
tonight,
thank
I
you.
was such a privilege to be able to speak to you because I've actually been to your place. I came down on my road trip, and
Oh,
I got to meet Baby Will and Jethro and your family, and
yeah.
your beautiful eggs that you had, your chickens' eggs. They were amazing. We had to
Oh,
like
it's so
guard them
good.
from people. So yeah, it was such a privilege to actually meet you. You are you walk your
Thank
talk.
you.
You are who you say you are. You are brave, just incredibly strong in your faith, both you and Cole. And
Yeah,
when I've been talking to Liz, that's what she said has held what your resolve has been for your
yeah,
children is your faith in God, but also how He's strengthened you to stand when you've needed to. And
yeah.
I just wanted to say too, like Baby Will gave us all hope that
Oh,
there is a bigger there's a God first of all, but also
yeah,
how much you were able to allow us into your lives to see how far you've come. There's just so many
oh,
things, so many layers, and I just want to say thank you to you. I want to honor you both
oh.
for what you've done, and we're going to have to keep in touch with us and give us
Mm.
some updates on how both Will and Jethro are going. Someone's just said, there'll be more cases. We know there'll be more cases to come. Uh, you've
Yeah,
set you've set a very strong and courageous precedent to this, and so that other parents, other people can stand. So
yeah.
yeah, I just want to say
Well,
thank you.
thank you. And the other thing I want to say is that, um, it's going to come out. It's really going to come out that these people were wrong. These people that were trying to force this blood on other people were wrong. So just people hold tight. Hold tight and stay strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, 100%. And it was so good to actually do an update with you in the middle of it's the beginning of July now. Anyway,
Beginning?
hey,
No, it's only the 2nd.
yeah, the
Is
beginning
it?
of July.
Oh, yeah, beginning. Sorry.
It's okay, mama brain, same as me.
Yeah, I reckon.
Hey, I just want to say thank you so much, Sam. And we've had, close to 80 people watching and wanting to have this update. I'm sure other people will see this too. It's so good to see, something good come out of this. And yeah,
Absolutely.
so thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm going to be busy over the next little while. I've
Yeah.
stepped into politics, and I'm a candidate for Democracy NZ.
Oh,
And
wow.
so
Go.
yeah, so they did a post quite a while back to say that we stand with Will. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm really
wow.
pleased. Yeah, they
Awesome.
did. I know,
Nice.
right? Anyway, it's not a plug with it. I just wanted to say that they did too. So
Oh, that's
anyway, thank
great.
you so
That's
much for your
great.
time, and thank you everyone for
Thank you for
watching.
having us.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
we'll have to
Yeah.
update again. That's great.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Good
Bless
night.
you. Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.